WayofFlowingTime here, bringing to you another episode of EEPower. Ah, they're so cute. So what we're going to be doing in this episode is a little beekeeping. Let me just grab this, and yes, I am looking down for a reason. Don't bother. Haha. So I did a bit of work on the base, and I just need to do one more part. And since it's on the minimap, I might as well show you. Yeah, I built up a bit. Sorry. So I'm expanding this semi-sphere so that well, has more room for me to play with. And I'm making well, actually a third floor if I remember correctly. And I'm going to need a lot of filler for this. And it is on the correct level, so that's good. So far, of all of the brick layers that I've done 25 layers of this. And if we look at the outside, I might as well show you. Good thing I have my jetpack on. It's not that bad. It's probably going to look a lot more full when I have the full, the full semi-sphere. It's kind of funny to say it like that. I think it'll look a lot better when it's finally done, but when I add this floor, it should be quite extravagant. So I'm going to need to do a bit of work on this. What work I need to do is work on actually getting all of the fun little filler stuff, and that's going to require lots of stone, some landmarks, and a bit of patience and time while I try to figure out how I'm going to best fill in the big layers. Now obviously I can't do all of it at once because frankly it just doesn't like doing that. Is it lined up like that? Yes it is. Okay, I think that will be a good area, and then we'll put this down. So I'm going to be doing some beekeeping as well as answering a bunch of question and answer materials while I am working. So not right now, but when I'm actually doing the beekeeping, because that's just going to be a disastrous bore. Let's put that there and move this over here instead. So I'll actually get to that right now once I finish the floor. See you in the future. Okay. Whoa. Yeah. Apparently the faith plate actually does take into account the armor that you're wearing, rather the weight that your person. I don't think it's the faith plate itself that's taking into account those variables, but let's put on our jetpack since we haven't put in a faith plate to get to this area. Now I didn't do the entire area because frankly that's a lot of stone and I don't have that much stone. I'm working to produce it, but I'm thinking that this banner will be good for now. And I'm also thinking that, well, I'll add some designs into it later. Not sure what I'll do compared to that. But anyways, okay, so let's put down our apiaries and we'll just start breeding, I guess. So let's just get these down first. This, and this. And then while we're waiting for these to mature, we can continue with or rather start the questions. First we're going to need to get a few things. I apologize for not having that at hand, but then we'll get into the questions. Okay, so let's get into the questions. First I'm just going to get a bit of wood so that we can make this easier. Okay, first question comes from Leudus Dodoravicius, oh my gosh, I'm horribly pronouncing that, who asked, what inspired you to do YouTube videos? Well, what originally inspired me was a series that's called the Super Hostile series. It's a set of maps that you probably saw them already. They're the set of maps that pretty much are designed to kill you and are very difficult to complete. However, I kind of like that type of play style, and I wanted to try to see if I could do it myself. However, well, I don't really think I'm the most gifted YouTuber out there. I definitely know I'm not that, and yeah, so I decided to try to make some of my own Super Hostile videos and see what I could do and try to go from there. However, when I was starting it, I decided that my super hostile videos were not garnering much attention. In fact, I started with trying to do, I think, a hardcore playthrough of Legendary, since I recently completed the Nightmare Realm. That was also there. So yeah, I attempted to do that, and it kind of went from there. I started then trying to do a modded Let's Play, as you know, called EEPower. That started in like March or something. I'm not entirely sure. And it just kind of went from there. I kind of started to see how much I loved to just start recording, even though I knew that I wouldn't get the most views out of everyone because I was still, well, kind of immature then. Kind of am right now. It just kind of went from there. So yeah, good question. Okay, let's see. What first got you into Minecraft and or modded Minecraft and or Minecraft in general? That was from Fragbo 1997. Well, what originally got me into Minecraft? That I'm really not too sure what actually got me into Minecraft in general. I definitely know what got me into modded Minecraft. There was a mod. It started quite a long time ago, and well, it first introduced this stone that you'd be able to click onto the ground and lift a panel of dirt or stone or whatever, and you'd be able to analyze what's there and you can shove it back into the ground. That was the beginning of equivalent exchange, and it was quite a good mod for its time. Now, obviously, it has evolved over the years quite ferociously into what it has become today, with several iterations of the fact. And I think it's been going quite strongly. So, I started talking with Xenophobe on the second page of that forums, and we kind of went from there. I'm definitely not saying that I inspired him in any way to mod. Most definitely not. Though I did, with a few people, attempt to make a few ideas and try to shape what the mod has become today. One other contributor that I gotta give a lot of praise to is Space Toad, who created the Buildcraft mod. Now, it's been quite a while since Space Toad actually was modding Buildcraft, but just having that dynamic ability kind of just showed me what mods are able to do, and just have so much fun with all the mod work, and just, yeah, it's kind of hard to explain in that regard, but it's very rewarding to see it kind of opened up a lot of possibilities. Okay, so yeah, I think that's that question. Thank you very much. Was it Dodoris or was it Fragbo? Yes, it was Fragbo. Okay, so let's see. What's next question? Ah, yes. Do you ever try to record in EEPower, die, restore the world to a backup, and not tell us? I'm just wondering because accidents do happen. Now, this question I've got to think about. There's really two criteria. One, I'll answer it with a bit of an asterisk. No, I have not. The asterisk is I have not restored the world when it was a legitimate death. One of the instances where this was not a legitimate death was when I was updating and there was a new nuclear mechanic that I did not learn about, and I don't think many people did learn about at the time. It blew up my nuclear reactors. Actually, I think this was a glitch. It blew up the nuclear reactors and killed me pretty quickly. Now, obviously that's not legitimate death. When I die from a glitch, it is no way legitimate. So that is the only instance where I back up. Now, for instance, one of those times when I fell down that hole in this season, definitely it would have been my own bloody fault if I happened to die to that. So if I was to die from falling down that hole for not holding shift when looking at all the lava that I was pumping, yeah, that would have been a legitimate death and I would have conceded the season. However, if it's a legitimate one, like kind of in Super Hostile, though all of those are kind of legitimate deaths. Yeah, thank you. I think that does really help. Okay. Next question is from Sajan Serious Army. And he asks, why did you choose your name? I assume he's talking about Way of Time and not Way of Flowing Time, but I'll go to the Way of Flowing Time first. Originally, my Way of Time name I couldn't actually access for some odd reason. I believe somebody actually took the Way of Time name on YouTube, so I had to settle down with a different one, and that is Way of Flowing Time. The reason I chose Way of Flowing Time was because by then there was an item in Equivalent Exchange called the Watch of Flowing Time, which I help not really balance, but help give the idea of what it should be and some of the criteria such as energy usage, the slowing and reversal of time, and a bunch of general stuff like that. Now, Way of Time. This name kind of has a bit of a history, and it kind of harkens back to the game MapleStory. Now, I don't know how many people have played that in the past, but it was a huge time sink that I used to play in. It was kind of like RuneScape in nature, though definitely definitely not RuneScape, and it's kind of hard to compare the two with one another. But anyways, so there was this guild that I was in called the Way of Bushido, and it was created by this guy called Bad Bushido, or at least that guy, and it was quite a good guild. At that time, I had the name A-Time. Now, the reason I had A-Time instead of just Time was, well, of course, time was taken. And I guess time, in that case, it wasn't really much. But then I decided after a while, because the guild disbanded due to a bunch of guild drama, that I tried to create my own guild. So what I did was I named it Way of Time, after the Way of Bushido. So, well, time, that's in my name, and then Way of. And it was pretty simple. And, well, one of the reasons also was that there's kind of this philosophy that I have, and it might be a little boring, so you can tune myself out, but it's pretty much that time pretty much flows like a river, like a flowing river of time, and that it always continues, even if it looks like it's slow at some times, however very quick at other times, it always continually flows and only flows in one direction. Of course, some people will probably say right now, unless there's a dam, which in that case I would concede it, but that kind of is a bit of the backstory behind my name. Now, whether it's the most classy name, I don't know, and also the nickname Way kind of just came from it. Dang, Ninja Skeleton. Way kind of just came out from it because I generally like names that are actually, well, they actually sound like names. And, well, I think Way sounds like a name. Maybe not the most best name in the world, but it's not like you can always have a best of everything. So yeah, that's that. Okay, next up is Geeky Hobo, as if I hit the chunk loader. Next is Geeky Hobo, and let's just put some of this soul sand away before I trip over my words, like that would ever happen. He has a bunch of questions, and I'm only going to answer a few of them, since some of them don't really pertain to it and are kind of odd, like, what is your phone number? Yeah, I'm not giving you my phone number, chum. Okay, so, let's see. Did I make the awesome intro? No, I did not. I made the music of the introduction. I'm a rather you may know this or may think that it's such a laugh, but I am a bit of a musical person, and that type of introduction kind of just came to me, the music. I don't know if it was the best in the world. Of course, those are rocky. Bah! Of course, those are rocky. Why are they rocky? I don't know why they're rocky. Okay, at least we got a meadows. I'll be able to use the meadows. But anyways, so what was I saying? Ah, yes, the introduction. I forget who made it. Root NL or something like that. I may be incorrect in that assumption, but Root NL created the introduction for me. It is, yes, it is quite an awesome introduction, and I do love it. I can't thank him enough for the clock rotating, the cracked background. I kind of think the cracked background is like due to time, but anyways, and do I want to be on Forgecraft? Well, I'll be honest here, I don't think there's anyone who doesn't really want to be on Forgecraft. But I'm pretty sure that's not what you're asking, so I won't beat around the bush. If I was invited to Forgecraft, I wouldn't say no. Now, obviously, I am on Resonant Rise right now, and it's kind of becoming my baby, so to speak. I know that doesn't exactly sound the most kosher, but anyways, I have a bit of a inkling with the pack, but Forgecraft. If I was asked, I'd say yes. Would I actively try to get on? No, because obviously I do not want to be a rude douchebag, and that would just be horrible and would turn a lot of people away, and that's just, well, rude. I would like to be on it, but I'm not going. I'd be happy either way, really, because Resonant Rise, the people on the server are quite good people. I wouldn't trade them for anything. They're very good, and I'd probably have to live with having Richard G spawn camping me or something like that. Something horrible like that, which would be likely. Ooh, Rocky and Common, that's a good one. And I don't think you can actually go in here. I see. Oh, wait. Nope. I cannot use that guy. Okay, so what about you? Sorry about the bees stuff. I might as well get the bees stuff out of the way before I do anything else serious, because that is the main reason I'm doing all this question and answer stuff. Anyway, so let's see. Why are you so punny? I don't know. Ha, same person. Okay, let's find another one. Okay, Exo Green Games. He asks a lot of questions, but I don't think I'll be able to answer them all. What are you studying to be in college? I'm not really studying for a particular profession when I'm studying in college. It's actually university. I'm not going to say what university it is. However, some people have managed to guess somehow what the university was. That being said, I'm not going to be telling anyone what it is, so don't try. Anyways, I am studying engineering physics, and it is quite a difficult course, but it is a course I quite like. Let's see. It's a course that I quite like, and there's a lot of things in it. Well, it's a mixture of engineering and physics. I'm probably boring a lot of people here, and it does, well, it's a lot of work. Let's just say it's a lot of work. Right now, I'm actually studying in the summer because I'm trying to get a bunch of elective courses out of the way because, frankly, I do not like writing, so all those electives, they are kind of scary. However, they're stuff I have to do. I have to do for my electives, the ones that I chose, architecture, rather the history of architecture, anthropology 1001, as well as peoples, places, and environments. All three happen to have essays. Get what? Guess what things I don't like? Did you get essays? Wow, you must be psychic. Okay, now we have common bees. Okay, what are these common? Okay, common meadows. That'll be easy enough to weed out. Common. Ooh, that's good. And it's a complete mutation. And we have common meadows. Okay, so this is a pure bee. And we can probably, we're gonna use these again because frankly, why not? We might even, oh, wrong one. That was close. I want to get the common bees out of the way, then we'll be able to get to cultivated, then we'll be able to get to the other ones and all of that. Next question, and this is from Tactician with a 0. Do you like the time puns people put into the comments about random things? Now, I seriously believe for something to be a pun, there almost has to be an attempt at humor. Some of these time puns, yeah, I'm speechless. Some of these time puns aren't exactly the most thought up of. If there were like good time puns or actual puns or some puns, like for instance, one that I saw was you don't want to be no, that's not it. What was the one that I saw? Better be on the flowing time. Ha ha ha. The flowing was in brackets, and I don't think those are puns. Puns, they have to kind of be a play on words, sure. However, there's some small intricacies that you have to do. I don't. Well, honestly, my puns aren't probably even funny, so what's the point? Okay, so let's see what there are others. Okay, so this is by DeathPie by Ponage 123, and he asks if you were to make your own Minecraft mod, what would it be and why? Well, I'm thinking if I were to attempt to make one mod right off the bat, I'd have like a very technical mod. I'd have a lot of trouble since, well, frankly, it does take a lot of, not necessarily ingenuity, but takes a lot of thought to be able to make something like, for instance, Red Power. There's a lot of intricacies in Red Power that I wouldn't be able to emulate in just one sitting. Now, what I'd start with, stop that. Let's get this out of the way, then I'll be able to talk. What I would start with is something called the Terra Nova. Now, the Terra Nova is something that I originally thought up of while I was trying to make some ideas for equivalent exchange. And what it basically is I don't know if you know of this, or this might be so far back in equivalent exchange that it might just be whooshing over everybody's head, but there was something called the Nova Catalyst, and also its fat sister, the Nova Cataclysm, where when you basically light it, it explodes, and all the items get transferred to you. Now, what my idea was originally was instead of the Nova Catalyst, there'd also be something called the Terra Nova, and what it'd do is pretty much the opposite. You'd set the item that you want, and using the EMC that at the time you had in your Klein Stars, Omega Drays, etc., or Dry. I don't know, I have a dry sense of humor. See, that's a pun. It might not be funny, but you're actually putting some effort into it. Am I bitter? Probably. Anyways, it'd be able to blow up, and there'd be some sort of formation. Say if you set it to dirt and put it down with like a radius of 10, it'll blow up, and there'd be a sphere of dirt pulled from your Klein Star's energy reserves. Now that's something not only would I like it, but it'd be quite fun, especially if you set it to air blocks. So for instance, the main reason I'd like that is this base is a perfect sphere, at least a Minecraft perfect sphere, and I'd love to just blow something up, just set it to like stone bricks, blow it up, have the 101 diameter sphere centered around whatever point it'll be, and then set another one with a 99 diameter and just patch the holes after you're done once there's a big hole. Now, if I were to go into some sort of mod, cultivated. I wanted common, dang it, I didn't want cultivated. Only time that I didn't want cultivated, that is very odd. Okay, cultivated meadows at least. Now if I were to go for a full mod, it'd be quite tricky if I were to say so myself. There's so many different mods out there that I don't know if I'd be able to choose one particular one. Oh yes, common, and is this a common? No, that's common meadows, but this is common. So now we have a common, and we'll just have to work on getting those to a perfect mutation. Okay, we're moving on up in the world, and we're getting a bit farther into our meadows population. Okay, so I'd probably want to choose a technical mod, but have a similar power source, or rather energy source, and probably make an add-on to equivalent exchange. Something with Terra Nova, or rather, yeah, more explosives. I'd probably want some utilization of equivalent exchange EMC, energy matter currency, or conversion, whatever it was, and try to go with that. Okay, so let's see. Another question is Mr. Sponge Thing, and he asks one thing. Well, two things. First, will you play with your subscribers one day? If there was a server that I'd be able to have where everybody was could play on it, yes, I could. However, that's going to probably take a while. If Resonance Rises, or rather Resonance Rise, was to ever make a fully public Feed the Beast appearance, I would probably hop onto a server with some of the, well, not necessarily just put it to subscribers, but put it to a bunch of other people. Just allow a public server if something like that were to happen. Maybe not the most up-to-date mods ever, but I'd like to set something up like that in the future, but currently I don't really think it's in the stars. So next question that he has, oh yeah, why do you think you have such low views on your vids and only that many subscribers? Well, actually I think I have a little lopsided amount of subscribers compared to views. I have, like if I were to release a video and wait exactly one day, I'd get approximately 300 views. Now that's for a newer YouTuber. I've only been doing this for a year, mind you, so I kind of consider myself newer. That is quite a bit, having 300 views a day. Now I also have, for some reason, like 2,700 subscribers. The reason I have that many subscribers compared to the viewers is because Direwolf20 has seen a bunch of my videos, such as making the mobile frame quarry, as well as the tutorials of such, and my Red Power Autocrafter. I should make one of those someday when I have the time. And pretty much there was a whole flux of viewers and then subscribers. But then it petered out. So honestly, the main reason I probably don't have as many viewers as I could have, I think I'm a reasonably well-talented person, though I know for sure I'm not the best in the world. One of the reasons is probably because not many people actively share my channel, or rather it's not for everyone. I'm not going to force my channel down their throats, so that's kind of out of the question. So pretty much I try to let nature take its course. If people like my videos, they try to share it with their friends. If they don't like it, they don't have to share it. And if it's not truly exceptional, they don't have to share it. I don't force anyone to share my videos, though it is very nice when people do. Okay, there's not much time, so I think we only have time for two more questions for this episode. If I get enough positive feedback, I will do more in the future, but we only have so much. How did I get pure meadows? That doesn't even make sense. Common meadows and common noble. Huh, that is very, very, very odd. I guess I'll do this one. Okay, so two more questions, and let's see. Where is it? Ah, yes. The Lil George 1112 asks, why did you get interested in the Faithful texture pack? Well, twofold, really. One, I kind of like, well, let's start with this one. I really like high definition texture packs. The reason for this is because eventually the Minecraft texture pack gets same old, same old. It's a little too blocky for my imagination, and I know that's funny, me saying that. However, there's only so much pixelation I can really take. Sometimes it just gets distracting, and I like having some smoother finish to the blocks that I place, even though they are still, well, blocks, even though they are moving steadily away from just their blocking nature. So let's start with this part. The reason I chose Faithful is because when I choose other texture packs, for some reason they just are too different sometimes. They are too different, too out there for too much of me to take. I know that is kind of odd me saying that, still having this texture pack and everything. However, I do find it annoying when I look at something and don't right away see what it is. It becomes quite annoying if, say, for instance, I see a flower and wonder what the heck is a lily dragon doing, trying to claw at my insides. It's kind of very odd. I just thought they're kind of multiplying like rabbits, aren't they? Just spawning everywhere that they feel like. Okay, so I chose Faithful because it's a nice alternative. I have nice smooth texture pack, as well as it's being something, well, faithful to the original, and something that I'm able to look and say, hey, that's a piece of wool, instead of, hey, why is there cloth on the ground? That is not something that I really like. Ah, haha. This is a nice example. Last question that we're going to do. Duncan Viette asks, what is your best YouTube experience so far, and what are you expecting in the future, open bracket, flow of, close bracket, time? One moment. Do we have anything? Ah, yes. Gotta get this off. Facepalm. You can go back on now. That is an example of a time pun. Sorry, it's not even a pun. But I digress. Okay, so what is my best YouTube experience so far? Well, one of my favorite, I don't know if it's my best, but one of my favorite experiences was when I was participating, oh, that was close, when I was participating in a competition called Wrenched. Wrenched was a competition made by Direwolf20 where many contestants faced off so that they could test how well they could build certain structures and quickly. Like making, for instance, some sort of bee breeding facility, and it is kind of my best experience because it kind of did open up a huge realm of mod opportunity for me. Now, at that time, I think I was in season 1 and I was playing on the wrench competition and I was facing off against a few people. I know one of them was Waxed and the other was Lumindia. Now, I got to the final round and was playing against Lumindia, and I think the only reason that I actually won that entire competition was because Lumindia forgot to use an auto crafting table. I don't think I explained Wrenched very well, but what it is that you are competing and seeing who is the fastest to build stuff, and you're given 4 items to try to play around with to see what type of thing you can make with just those 4 items. You have to use all 4 and continue onwards. So I actually won that competition, and it introduced me to mods such as forestry and a plethora of other ones. I can't really even name them all. Railcraft, forestry, so many that I wouldn't have been able to do without the wrenched competition and my introduction to such. Now, strictly YouTube experience, kind of corny, but you guys. You guys are kind of my best YouTube experience I've ever had. I wouldn't be in this if it wasn't for all the, yeah, me throwing cobblestone while I'm doing that. It's like I'm just spewing stuff while I'm talking. Take that, cobblestone! Go into the void! So you guys are probably the best YouTube experience I've had. I know that's mushy, that's corny, that's whatever you want to call it, but without you guys, I wouldn't be doing YouTube. Frankly speaking, I probably wouldn't be doing it if I didn't have the outpouring of, not really affection. I don't think you guys love me like a brother or anything like that, because, well, I'm not saying it's anything wrong if you love me like a brother. However, there are certain lines that I love to keep. For instance, a line of apiaries. I would really love to have one. Heart. So yeah, thank you very much for you guys, and I really enjoy it. And I actually kind of enjoyed this episode just talking about bees, not really much about bees, mainly it'd kind of be very odd if there were birds added as well. I think having the talk about forestry, where we work about forestry, where we breed birds and bees. Just think about that for a second. Okay, so if you have any other questions that A, you haven't seen answered on this, or B, that you want to ask on a future episode, feel free to put them in the comment section below. I'll look at them, and if they're not overtly like stupid, such as what is your phone number, I actually got someone asking that, and it looked like it was their only question. No, I think they added some other things, but if it's not something like that, or what is my name, I'll answer it. So, thank you very much. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of Oh My God. Who needs birds when you have squirrels? Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of EEPower. If you like what you see, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe to future episodes. I should move those apiaries over there. WayofTime here, signing off. Have a wonderful day.